said, this might be one of the players that you're looking to get very early. Simply going to be coming out on this game day. Keep in mind, folks, as well, you are going to see a bunch of players today that you've already seen compete, but there are going to be some new faces as well, simply already warming up. Let's see his first kick of the day.
Beautiful, beautiful. And what you saw there is you saw the that's what you call ballistic motion. You know, he pulled his arm back there and he used the centripetal force to be able to actually push that football in, and that was really, really impressive.
Leg like a pendulum, booty cheek man taking to the plate. He will take his shirt off at some point in the first 5 minutes is what everybody is saying, but the next contestant might be somebody that you want to pay attention to. S-Fan mentioned him very early on in basketball. We had very high aspirations for him, and he really did start to warm up. It looks like he's still thinking he's playing basketball, though, S-Fan.
Well, the big thing with Cypher is, as you can see, he gets quiet heated. You know, he's one of those guys that he really, he's got to be able to keep his cool. And if he can do that, you know, if you can keep him, if you can have a coach who can keep that kind of guy in check, then he's going to be a great player for you. But if you lose his head, it's going to be all over.
He's like the Hulk. He's definitely going to be an emotional player. But next up, we have somebody who's been to quite a few game days, a great friend of OTK. It's going to be JCG taken to the field.
Now, what a lot of people don't know about JCG is she played basketball for 6 years in high school. So she played basketball for 6 years in high school and was started on the varsity for 3 of those 6 years. And it was really, really impressive because she was highly recruited coming out, and she actually chose to forego that to start becoming a streamer because of the success of the Raj Patel live stream.
An actual athlete then, and something that's very important here at these game days because a lot of people get very tired very quickly. But let's take a look at the next contestant who's going to take to the field. It's going to be Rob. We got Raffle Gator here already juggling the ball. Is that a valuable skill, S-Fan?
It is, actually. And what people don't know about Raffle Gator, he was a multi-sport athlete. He played AAU with Derrick Rose, LeBron James, and Michael Jordan. And he actually played center on that team, and they won lots of championships, high school national championships. And for him to come back around and take that basketball ability that he has and apply it to the kickball field is going to be really, really good to see today.
All real and very true. He does more cooking streams now than NMP. This might be a rivalry brewing before the game even gets underway. But folks, we're moving fast today. We got a whole bunch of players to introduce you to for this kickball game. Let's take a look at the next contestant who is going to be competing on the field of glory. You already know him. It's Mizkif. You've played a lot of sports with him. Is he any good at kickball?
Well, the big thing with Mizkif is the story. You know, a lot of people don't really know Mizkif's story, and for him to come back from, you know, being an ex-convict and being in jail, thinking that his career was over after the incident back in college. You know, he did steal crab legs actually from the local Kroger, and you know, for him to come back and really be able to show that he's a high character guy and turn it around was really, really impressive to me. You know, he's a great athlete, and now that he's got the off the field issues taken care of, it's going to be real good.
It's really inspiring when you get down to it. Thank you for sharing that story with everybody at home. Chat, just believe in yourself. It's never too late to change the path that you are on. Mizkif only here today, though, because he cannot react to LSF for, I believe, another 5 days. I'm not counting, though, but he probably is. Our next contestant has been an MVP in quite a few of the game days. It's none other than Alinity, and the question is whether or not she is going to be any good at kickball.
Huh? Oh. Alinity.
Kickball.
A lot of people don't know Alinity played. She played soccer, so a lot of that soccer skill, you know, that European football skill is going to come into kickball. So I really don't know. I don't know why they call it soccer. Whenever you play it with your feet, it's whatever. But she played that in middle school, high school, and actually was going to be on the women's national team actually for Germany. A lot of people don't know that, as Alinity is half German, but she again chose to forego that for her career online.
Her online career. Now, as we shift our attention away from Alinity, we have more players to introduce. And the next one up is none other than Russell.
Russell is a guy who he played at North Carolina. He was on the kickball team at North Carolina, and he had a really bad ankle injury. And it actually ended his career. He was on a full athletic scholarship, and unfortunately, due to that injury, he did have to start streaming. And he's really embarrassed by it. He doesn't really bring it up that much, but here we are. He's really doing a lot for us. You know, it's very a heartwarming story for him to come out and bless us with his kickball ability.
It truly is, and he has a lot to play for today. He's hoping if he can rack up another win, maybe he'll get re-verified on Twitter. He tried very hard at Twitch Rivals, was able to obtain the bag, but still no verification badge. Will today be the straw that can break the camel's back and get him back in the verified club? Let's take a look at our next competitor. It's none other than Soda Pop, and the man who was able to carry Russell at Twitch Rivals. Will they be on the same team here again as we see Chance's first kick?
Beautiful.
Actually, fantastic.
Beautiful. And what you saw there, you saw the triple extension. You saw the hip, you saw the knee, you saw the ankle, and the impact that was made with the toe. That's a very, very difficult technique to recreate. So to see him do that on film just at a moment's notice is really, really impressive. And so excited to see what Soda Pop can do today.
Now, look, you know the scene better than most. You know a lot about kickball. You know the history. You know the strategy. Is it important to slightly run away from the ball like we saw Soda Pop and do here to warm up?
So a lot of people wouldn't think so, but this is something that happened back in 1957, the kickball championship, World Kickball Championship back in Tokyo, where Izuru Miromichi actually went through and did that technique, and it threw the opposing team for such a loop that they lost their leverage in their lanes, and it allowed him to hit a home run without actually kicking it out of the infield. It was amazing. It was incredible, and that's what Soda's doing today.
And you brought up lanes. This is definitely going to be a game of lanes. We're going to stay focused on that throughout the entirety of the day. But first, we need to introduce E-Rob. And keep in mind, this man's insatiable lust for victory. He's willing to break arms, legs. There is nothing that can stop this man.
So we had a little bit of insider knowledge here. We had a word with the provider, the equipment provider that came out, and apparently they sent E-Rob 2 right shoes. So that is why he's out there with only one shoe on. But yes, he only has 2 right shoes. He got brand new cleats today, and this is actually true. He opened up his new cleats today, and there was only 2 right shoes in there.
Wouldn't it be better just to wear no shoes at that point?
Well, no, because the thing is, if you just plant off your right foot and you're able to control your body, and that's a huge deal in every sport, but especially in kickball, body control, especially if you're pitching, if you're able to turn the bases, if you're always turning off your right foot and planting off that right foot, you're going to be totally fine.
Wow. Okay. We'll keep our eyes on E-Rob. We'll see how we can do with 2 right shoes. Next up, we have Ashlyn. I believe first game day here today. And the question is, where will she get picked? We started to see a lot of the players at this point in SFAM. We have to start keeping our mind on who we think is going to get picked first. Ashlyn, you know her from GTA RP, and now you're going to see what she can get done here in kickball.
Absolutely. And you saw the ability to high kick there, the hip mobility, the flexibility. It's very, very important, not only for staying healthy, but to be able to generate a lot of power in those big kicks.
That is definitely true. I don't know why, every single person who was playing today just started texting me about E-Rob shoes. Like, all of them are like, you got to tell them about E-Rob shoes. It's actually a true story here with the cleats. I'm hearing from the players on the field who we're going to be hearing from very soon as well. It seems like they are very talkative today. They are very excited to get going. And you start to see quite a few of the faces. And once we get to introduce all of them to you, we'll actually get to hear what they're thinking based off the going-ons that are happening on the field. But now we have Coconut on the field, also a newcomer to OTK Game Day. This is the 4th one so far. And now we have new contenders.
Yeah, we're very excited. We have a lot of new faces here today at Game Day, and Coconut B here is going to go, and you can see that he's been training boxing for a long time, and that boxing ability the quick footwork, the quick feet. You saw that on display running that first base. I think Coconut B is going to have a great showing today.
And we will find out very soon because there aren't many players left to be introduced. The next one, though, is going to be Spaceboy. We've seen a whole lot of him recently, and we know he's going to give it his all on the field. And it looks like he has his title belt still, S-Fan.
Yes, he does. You know, Spaceboy was actually a professional wrestler for 17 years. He wrestled in the WWE, WWF from 1984 all the way to 2001 before he started streaming in 2002. So he's very, very excited about this and to be able to dust off the old championship belt, the 4-time champion of the Federation, as they call it. It's going to be really exciting to see.
Yeah, and we all know that the RPers have a huge advantage when it does come to the way that the calls will fall with the referee. We'll see if Spaceboy will be able to employ that, but we got to introduce you to one more person who will be playing kickball today. Let's take a look at who it is. Oh, Lulu Lemon is going to be here for the first time. I think that this
Lulu Lovely.
Lulu Lovely. Sorry about that. I believe that this is 4 new players. I was trying to look at my notepad right now. I think it's 4 new players already here today.
4 new players, yes. And Lulu Lovely, one of the top Apex players in the world, is going to be able to get to the apex of that kickball and be able to absolutely launch it. She's an incredible athlete, great competitor, and really taking her badminton skills. She was actually a varsity badminton player at Wakajanawa High School in Oklahoma for 14 years.
Very impressive statistic indeed. And we have 2 more players to introduce, and it is going to be their first game day as well. I think that this is the most newcomers that we have ever had at a game day. We have Ava on the field for some kickball. A bunch of folks, too, who were duos at the Twitch Rivals event. So maybe we'll have some synergies between these players, S-Fan.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the big thing is you can't just go out there and try and out-athlete the other team. It's not as simple as that. It's not even as simple as the mechanics. It's not even as simple as the ability to have the fundamentals. A lot of times it's rapport, and that's what we're going to see today.
A lot of rapport to be seen today, and the next player is definitely one that you have quite a bit of rapport with. We have Grayson for his first game day ever.
That's right. Dread Gladiator Grayson, one of the best mages in the world, one of the best multi-class Burning Crusade retail arena players in the world. As you can see, he's an average athlete, and he's really, really excited to be out here and show off that he is not just Scuff Miss Jones. He is Dread Gladiator Grayson.
Scuff Miss Jones. I actually never heard Grayson called that, but I'm very excited to introduce to you the man of the hour. We have NMP here as well, ready to go for some kickball, and he's just getting that little bit of extra energy up inside of the tank before we get things started.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of people don't know this about Nick, but he was the junior varsity MVP of his hockey team back in 2007. And they did almost win state. And he absolutely loves his brand new car, GTR, the Nissan GTR.
We have a bunch of GTR stats here as well. He drove here in his GTR. He will drive home his new GTR, and he will continue to talk about his GTR throughout